Well, good morning. I'm Councilmember Jeff Blubaugh. Today I'm joined with Tim Goodpasture, Economic Development Analyst for the City of Wichita. Welcome, Tim.
Good morning.
Glad to see you here this morning. Everything going your way?
It's going well. Glad to be here.
Well, Tim, today we approved a couple of IRBs for the City of Wichita for both my district as well as District 6. Could you tell us a little bit about what an IRB is?
Absolutely. Industrial revenue bonds, or bonds in general, are used in a variety of different capacities. The city utilizes them in providing a type of funding for private not-for-profits like American Baptist today in your district, for affordable housing projects like the Somerset project that was approved today, as well as for educational facilities, universities, for instance, Friends University, Newman, and for-profit companies that are developing new facilities and expanding job creation. So we use them in a variety of different capacities. There's a common misunderstanding about industrial revenue bonds that the city itself is actually funding those projects, which is not the case. In every one of those instances, whether it's a private not-for-profit or a for-profit company, they are providing their own financing and developing their own financing. The industrial revenue bonds are just a mechanism or a process through which the company is able to achieve either a sales tax exemption, a property tax abatement, or tax-exempt financing.
Okay, so a lot of times I have somebody come to me and they'll see one of our aircraft companies, Textron, Spirit, or somebody, maybe they're getting a 10 or $20 million IRB. The city is not writing them a check for that, correct?
That is correct. They are getting their own financing. And again, the IRBs are simply providing a sales tax exemption for construction materials on any facilities that they may be building, as well as potentially a property tax abatement if there's job creation associated with that expansion.
Okay, so there really is not a cost to the city. In fact, I believe the city has an administration fee, and it actually comes in as positive revenue for the city. Is that correct?
That is correct. The companies will actually pay all of the fees associated with the issuance of the industrial revenue bond, all of the attorney's fees associated, all of the issuance fees associated, and you are correct, the city is receiving an annual administrative fee. So it is a positive for the city on top of getting to see our companies expand and doing positive things in the community.
Okay, so could we talk a little bit about the IRB that we approved today for American Baptist Estates?
Absolutely. So in 2016, American Baptist Estates actually tore down 6 buildings that they had that each had 9 units in them. And on that same footprint, they went back in and built 4 units. So they expanded their units from 775 square feet to 986 square feet to provide larger facilities with more amenities. Well, the action that was taken today by the City Council was a refinancing of the 2016 bonds to achieve an interest rate savings.
Okay, so what are the benefits to the city of Wichita for issuing these IRBs?
It's a great question. There's several benefits. For our for-profit companies, we love to see what we call the sticky feet argument in economic development. Every time we see a Textron, a JR Custom Metal, anyone like that is issuing bonds, we're creating what we call the sticky feet argument. The more they invest in our community, the more likely they are to stay in our community because they're expanding facilities, they're creating jobs, and that's a positive for the city. On the not-for-profit side or the educational side of things, we're seeing new senior living facilities, we're seeing new educational facilities, all of which are providing a great benefit to our community and providing more services for the citizens of Wichita.
And usually we see these are pretty big deals. I think today it was several $1 million.
Correct.
And usually it does create some opportunities for some big projects here in the city, great improvements to the area, and I'm excited to hear some of this. Any additional information that you'd like to add on any of that, Tim?
Just that I think one of the things that you're pointing out, that there is not a cost to the city, is a really important thing that people do not typically understand about industrial revenue.
That's the number one question we get, is a lot of people think that the city is just writing a check to that company just for doing business in the city of Wichita.
And that is not the case at all. These companies are all providing their own financing, achieving their own financing, and the IRBs are really a paper transaction that typically helps provide certain benefits. With not-for-profits, they may be actually going out to the market to get the project financed, but again, it's still in no way, shape, or form the city writing a check or being involved in actually providing financing for a private business.
Okay. At this time, we'd like to take any questions that are out there. Do we have any questions that are out there available?
Just a couple, and I know we're having some issues with our sound, so we'll get that fixed, and we'll repost this with the sound and captions on. So how are IRBs different from STAR bonds or other methods of financing?
It's a good question. There's a lot of different types of bond financing that the city is involved in that all have different mechanisms for financing and all have a different type of goal that they're hoping to achieve. STAR bonds, for instance, are sales tax and revenue, which is what STAR stands for. And STAR bonds are typically used for tourism-related financing. So anything that's going to drive tourism to a community. It could be a sports venue. It could be youth sports activities like the Wichita Sports Forum. It could be anything that's driving people to come to Wichita that otherwise would not be coming here. Whereas industrial revenue bonds are typically used for companies that are expanding facilities and creating jobs or providing resources to the community, such as an American Baptist Estates that was approved today by the City Council for a senior living facility.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
And one more, just could you reiterate, so do IRBs cost taxpayers money?
They do not cost taxpayers any money. All of the costs associated with issuing industrial revenue bonds are paid by the company that is requesting the issuance of the bonds. And as the council member pointed out, there is actually an administrative service fee that they pay to the city for the cost that we have annually to certify certain things regarding the IRBs.
Okay. Perfect. Well, if we don't have any other questions, thank you everyone for watching, and we appreciate the questions that came in, and we're glad that we're able to share the information and continue to working with you. Thank you very much.